Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10. It is now time for the Shakeup program. Remember, Shakeup is an interactive program. To interact with us, the number to call is 457-9997. Calling from a digital number, call 532-9997. Message or call us on WhatsApp at 457-9997. I now hand you over to today's host, Mr. Edwin Snagg.
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. Good morning to all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I always like to say from the north, the extreme north, up at the northwestern, northeast of the country, and all the way down to Petit St. Vincent in the Grenadines. Let me say a pleasant good morning. All those who are on the World Wide Web, let me say good morning to all of you wherever part of the globe you are. It may not be morning, it may be later than that, it might be evening, but wherever you are, let me offer you greetings in the name of the Unity Labour Party and of the Shakeup program, the leading daytime talk show program in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This morning, this morning a little sad note. The passing of one of our former members of parliament, former minister of government, the Honorable Selman Walters, also at once being members of the Diplomatic Overseas Mission and manager of the Route Association. I really felt away yesterday evening when the news came of the passing of Comrade Selman Walters, a man of service, a man of great service to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a patriot, somebody who would have come through the ranks of the teaching service and then into political representation, a brother of the church, likewise, served us outside in the foreign mission, and really the Unity Labour Party is saddened this morning, with relation to his passing. But then again, man is like the flower. In the morning he flourishes, and in the evening he withers and dies. We never get accustomed to this, but this is life. And this is life in reality, that we are here for but just a short while. And it's one of the reasons, that, sometimes you look at the animosity and the hate and, what takes place sometimes in the politics of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, particularly around at this time and this season, and you recognize that we're really not, it's like the flower of the grass, I mean, all the thing is temporary, and for instance, I mean, people who have given tremendous service to our country, we acknowledge them, and we offer our condolences to the families and so on and thing, right? But here we are. We live in a very democratic society, one in which everybody is free to voice their opinions. And if it's one time, there's always I quote somebody from the opposition, is that I always quote Arnim Eustace when he was leader of the opposition. One day I never forgot him in the House at that time serving as a senator. I heard Mr. Eustace say that everybody have a right to talk, even though they talk foolishness. So this is the democracy in which we live in, and we won't want it any other way. In fact, the preservation of this democracy, is something that we must guard, and we must guard it. We must guard it in such a manner that we guard this thing with our lives, You know, I mean, the fact that we are going to the polls sometime very soon, you will say sometime very soon. The fact we are going to the polls sometime very soon, we're going to guard the democracy that we have here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That democracy where some people are abusing on social media, the ability to be able to say wherever you want to say at will. I mean, of course, one would think that on social media there used to be some guidelines and the kind of thing that people say and the kind of things people say about others. I mean, it borders now on the ridiculous. As if you don't have that fundamental right to support whatever political party you want to support. You don't have a right to your own views because you share a different view from them. They go all down in places where you can't even think about and where I can't mention here. The thing about it is that it really borders on the ridiculous. And then one may say that it's frustration. One may say that it's vengeance. But the NDP and its supporters have been in opposition for a very long time. Now, 25 years, does breed contempt. And that contempt does turn to hatred sometimes, because when you look at someone and you hear some of the comments coming from some persons, that is not politics. That goes beyond the realm of politics. That is most of the time that is inhumane in the sort of things that people will say. And of course they get away with it. This is the thing about the democracy. But even in a democracy, despite the fact that you have the right to say what you want to say, and some people they say I could talk as my mouth, and I can say it have a price for your mouth too, you know. And you can't just say what you want to say and demean others and defame others and scandalize others and that sort of thing, all in the name of politics. And then all of we have to turn around and live on the same level 2x4. Where we think, and who ain't related to you related to me? Who ain't related to me related to my friend related to my friend. I mean, this, you know, we gotta grow up as a people when it comes to the question of how we handle our politics. And we must come to the thing. But then again, one will say that it is a question of a rivalry. It's a rivalry of views. But the bottom line is what is in the best interest of your country, you know? And according to the structure of our elections as outlined in the Representation of the People's Act, which is not different from any other country in the Caribbean, because most of the countries in the Caribbean that were under British rule and members of the Commonwealth and so on and thing, is more or less, you might find a little different word in here and there in terms of the Representation of the People's Act, but all of it follow one particular pattern, and the majority have a right, you understand what I mean, to rule, and the majority have a voice. Just like how we don't have a new constitution in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have a constitution that was given to us, handed to us, put it wherever way you wanted, but adopted by us and brought to us by Milton Cato in 1979, because this is what we are so guided by. But the Unity Labour Party made an attempt to write a new constitution on behalf of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, one that would have been homegrown, one that would have had a deep reflection of our own society, our own views, our own independence, our own sovereignty. And that was seriously rejected. And it was rejected because we had to have a 2/3 leading curricular referendum. And in that referendum, they tell the people of St. Vincent the Grenadines to vote no. I don't want to go into the details of the thing in terms of the scaremongering, the tactics that were used and that sort of thing, and the level of backwardness that was displayed during that particular period of time. But we ended up without a new constitution, and we still have the old one, so we gotta live by it. And in that new constitution, you had so many things that I hear people clamoring for. There are some voices in the NDP saying that 25 years in governance is too long. Well, it can't be too long. To the ladies and them out there, let me ask you something. If you have a husband for 25 years, a partner for 25 years, let me say that a partner for 25 years, whoever he be, husband, whatever, a partner for 25 years, but he handling all your stories. In other words, then, he's handling all your physical, social, and emotional needs. He handling the children and them well. He taking care of his children and the family. He taking care of the home, etc., etc. He's a good provider. What happened? You go let somebody come and tell you, well, you have him for 25 years, you have him too long, so you go let him go for that, then you're stupid. I mean, I can't follow the rationale. So don't tell me now that the ULP has been there in existence as government for 25 years. It is not illegal. The people did that. The people made their decision to have the Unity Labour Party there in 2001, 2005, 2010, 2015, 2020, and certainly they ain't going to reverse that in 2025 because how we going to look? You understand? The people made that a decision, and the people, through this very democracy that we talk about, that are free to exercise my rights. Because we are free to exercise our rights, that's why the people chose to vote the ULP for the 5 consecutive terms, and the ULP is looking to continue the progress that it has carried St. Vincent and the Grenadines forward through for another 6 terms. And certainly, you can cuss and vex the people who think that that should be done. The polls will decide that. That's why it had the ballot box. The polls will decide that. And the vast majority of right-thinking people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines know that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is on the right track, and that is going forward. And that forward mobility, you can't turn that back, you know. You cannot afford to turn back to the times when the education revolution did not exist. You see, now, you look at the New Democratic Party, and some of them I don't even want to mention their name too much on the program, you know, because for me it taints the program, you know. But I heard the leader of the opposition saying, but they're talking about scholarships. But we had scholarships. But that is true. But how many you had? But you had 4 scholarships. And you know what? There's over 100 and something scholarships, direct scholarships, and then 2,500, close to 3,000, whatever the figure is, tuition scholarships. I saw an event in which just a room full of students who received tuition scholarships from Monroe University. What is happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is amazing. And sometimes you doesn't want to bring the thing down to too personal, you know. I remember at one time as a very young man, just still in my teens, and I said to my father, I had made an application to UE, and I was admitted, and I told him, I say, look, the figure is $2,000 a year, you know, that will cover everything. And he looked at me and he said, Edwin, where me you get that, boy? Me I want poor fisherman. What a time. Look at the difference now. The children of the fisher folk, the farmers, the sanitation worker, the person who ain't even working at all, everybody doing the little entrepreneurship, the vendors, etc., all of them have children who are going on to university and receiving higher education. And long time when you want to do that, you have to have your guarantor. And your guarantor used to be your deed, because that is all you had. Your parent or your grandparents' deed. And old people used to guard their deed with their life, you know. They ain't taking out that deed for no reason. They telling themselves, they forget about the copy or the deed, the original deed that is at the registry. Them didn't care about that, you know. The copy that they have in their hand in the envelope, whether at the bottom of the bureau or somewhere in the wardrobe, down in a brown envelope, tie up with some kind of thing. They ain't playing that, you know. They guarding that deed with their life. You think they were willing to come out with it, to put that in any bank for you to get money? You understand? I mean, this, look at what is happening now with the economically disadvantaged loans, where sons and daughters of the poor and the working class, who might not have any format of ownership of land title or any format of other serious security, could use the security of the government to proceed for further education. And of course, education enhances life. There's no two ways about it. Some they say it is the gateway out of poverty. But it's just one of the gateways, because there are others: entrepreneurship, your resilience, you know what I mean, etc., and all other factors have to come into play in this regard when it comes to the question of the eradication and getting out of poverty. Because sometimes poverty is really based in a mindset. You know, sometimes it depends on what you're after, what is important to you, and how you look at the question of the progress of life. But there again, education, of course, is for living and for and production. So today, you know, I urge us as a people. And of course, there's a political program, you know, there's a program of the Unity Labour Party, a program that we used to have when we were in opposition. We continue it in government. And this is a classic example, you know, of democracy at work, you know, because not when we were in opposition, we would come here in this very studio and we will speak about the very ills of the society, etc., etc., etc. But when you get into government, you know, people, they say the horse of a different color, but we have not changed the tune. We still come on this program to enlighten the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and to provide information in terms of the policies of the government, the programs of the government, and where we are going as a people, and as a government that guides your country. We come here to tell you how school keep, according to them boy on the block. We come to tell you how school keep. You know, we come to tell you how school keep. And so I am here this morning in that capacity. Two things: to point to the direction that the Unity Labour Party is taking our country, to remind you too from whence we came, because it is important to remind people from whence we came. And that is for those who choose to remember, because sometimes people just have amnesia because they consider it in their best interests and to carry their own agenda. And then also to inform those who didn't know, to let them know. Because we have persons going to the polls who are 18 years old. And in their 18 years old, they would have been born sometime maybe in 2007. So they met the Unity Labour Party in office. They met the education revolution in office. They met the housing revolution in progress. They met healthcare as it is now. They met it in progress, even though it would have expanded. But I'm saying that somebody going to the poll now would have been born in 2007, and they have no idea or a clue what took place prior to that. So they will not know the progress that our land has gone through unless we keep them continually informed. And it is our role as a government, And people might say the ULP remaining in campaigning mood. Well, you have to be in campaigning mood all the time because you want to keep people aware. You want to make those who didn't know aware, and you want to remind those who know and playing they forget. And you also want to provide the information as to where we're going as a people and the direction that the government is taking the country with your help and with your support. And obviously, it had to be with your support because you don't get government without the support of the people. The people had to vote you into office. And the NDP can vex with the people because the people vote the ULP into office. And that's what happened, you know. After every election, they just vex, like they vex with the electorate. In other words, you vex with the democracy, you can't vex with the democracy. That is what it is about. You know, and if the democracy and the people say, well, we don't want you, we want the ULP to continue to govern the ship of state. Well, so be it. This is what the democratic process is all about, you know. And the progress in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been phenomenal. It only takes persons who support the ULP to see it, you know. Others see it too. But they're just hypocritical. And then there are people who have all sorts of different views. And some carrying their brief. And some may be unhappy for various reasons. And I dare say too that there are some who greedy, who really think that, yeah, what happened, enough income in my plate. You see, they didn't think about anybody else. They didn't think about the country as a whole. In other words, is in their interests. And listen to the words of Sinclair Leacock on the same issue of constitutional reform. He said, and this was boldly said in the House of Parliament, he said the proposed constitution, it is better by far than the old one. But I'm a deep and abiding party man. You see the self-serving interests, and then such people want to govern a country. You're saying that what is proposed is much better by far than the old one. But you're saying no to it because you're a deep and abiding party man. You must live with that. That's why they had to wait until Ralph ring the bell. Because inside of that constitution, there was the provision for a specific date and time. You won't have to wonder. So you could stay from which part is and jump up and down, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell, ring the bell. You gotta wait on the bell because you wanted that. And don't tell me about Ralph as Prime Minister for so long and he want a next term. Because in that proposed new constitution, there was a term limit of the number of terms that Prime Minister could serve. But hear what? You want Rowdy for 5 times. And as a result of that, you're game for 6. Because that's where you want. So don't come and cry foul now after you done make your blunder. After you done make your blunder, you want to turn around now and you think you should get a blight. In other words, then there are certain things in the proposed constitution that could have been instituted. Well, you vote against it because you find 1 or 2 little things that you think you were not happy with. And here what happening? You throw away the baby from the bath water. With the bath water. Don't complain and cry wolf. No. We going to the polls. The people of this country, they will make the determination. And I am confident of the determination that they will make. And you can vex with the democracy. In other words, don't vex with democracy. It have more than one occasion. We saw your vexation with the democracy. We saw them used to get up and go up in front of Shaker face. Blah, 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 blah. The Shaker to tell him, take your licks like a big man. We saw you try to overturn the fire truck in town. Because you're vexed with the democracy. Democratic when you win, but the world don't run so. And the right-thinking people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you feel they didn't see your action all over the years. You stay there and feel so. But there are voices that are unheard. They don't say nothing. There's only go to the polls. And you would be surprised that you will hear the voices of the thousands at the rally when they shout, Labour. And of course, you have yours. You have your crew, as you call them. You have your crew. But it have a crew that don't make no noise at all. They don't even wear no color. They just go into the polls to do what they consider right. And they will balance it and make the judgment. And over the past 5 elections, they made that conscious choice that the Unity Labour Party is the party that should govern St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to pause here now for us to take a little break, and after the break, we're going to come back and we're going to deal with some matters, sub-matters. We're going to deal with some politics on return. Thanks much.
It's locally made, affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line with the red and white case, show me what you like. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited, with over 60 years experience. Hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
Yes, sir.
Our industry relies on all of us to play our part. We take pride in showcasing our beautiful island, our craft, our cuisine, and our warm Vincentian hospitality.
Each of us play a crucial role in showcasing our vibrant tourism industry.
We can create spaces where visitors can unwind, connect with nature, and embrace tranquility of our beautiful surroundings.
We need everyone on board to help us create an exceptional experience for our guests.
Join us at our National Tourism Community Consultations as we shape the future of tourism in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
It's everyone's business, yeah. Live it, love it, embrace it.
That could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SVG Tire Sales and Services in Balls Avenue and in Arnisvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain, Cooper Tires, king of the road and track, Ostone, the king of the outback, and High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks from MRF, High Fly, and Linglong. A reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467, or in Arnisvale, 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road.
Credit Union has done a lot for me in that it helped me to purchase a piece of land for myself, whereby I could do farming in a more effective way. And my advice to anyone who want to acquire something for their own can also make a move and go to the credit union. But they have to take the first step.
Join the credit union today.
This ad is brought to you by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Cooperative League Limited.
It's time to sound the horns once again as Campari Caribbean Log Enterprises Limited and the Custom Excise Department says it's time to set sail to Must-See on October 27th, Independence Day. Sound the horns! As we board the MV Gemstar 2, boarding time 7 a.m. and we set sail at 7:30. And you know too cool coming to wet up the damn thing. Get your tickets now, cause we are getting ready to move. October 27th, Campari Caribbean Log Enterprises Limited and the Customs Excise Department all on board the MV Gemstar 2. Captain, it's time to move.
Sponsored by Log Enterprises Limited, agents for White Oak.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound. It's time for Shakeup on WEFM 99.9.
Okay, welcome back after our little break. You know, there's a word that I'm hearing circling within the political arena. And the word, we have a caller, so let me take the call and hold my conversation. We lost them? Call ended. Okay. Yeah, we hear this word being used, and the word is vengeance. And some people say that they could only stretch their imagination if, let's see if we get the call again. Hello, caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Snagg, nice to hear your voice, sir.
Good morning, how are you?
Before you go off to your other subject, I've wanted this for quite some time, and I've decided I'm going to say it this morning.
Okay.
See that referendum that we held in St. Vincent at the and the ULP, they lost it. But just because of that clause, how that says that they could only serve 2 terms, I've always been extremely glad that referendum did not pass in St. Vincent. And I'm saying it quite openly. Anything else, but I think every one of us must be really happy when we consider going back into an NDP government. I can't imagine anybody being anything else but happy, like laugh when they knew that they could never enter again and say, oh, you only have 2 terms, you can't serve any other. Mr. Snagg, there's something else I wanted to bring up before you get off this up. I listened to the Minister of Finance last night, and he was extremely good, extremely informative, and a matter of fact, I put down everything that I was doing, and I sat up to listen to him, because I really wanted to hear what he was going to discuss when it came to that confusion they have going on in Canawan. I think it's 700 acres. Is that what he said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Imagine you are going to go into a deal, and if he went into deals with people that they knew absolutely nothing about,
Well, it was actually 1,200 acres.
Right. Imagine that. We've got it reduced, I think, to 700.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that the NDP got into dealings with all kind of crooks all over this world, And now we find ourselves with difficulty getting anything straightened out with them, because you never ever could tell who is a crook and who is somebody worse. And I am really glad that somebody is trying to make an effort to get back those that land from those people. You remember the one in Union Island that the ULP got back from?
Yeah, 100 acres.
Right. The thing is that there was a loophole somewhere, I think, in that deed, that they had to start building something before a certain date.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but
yeah. There was what you call a caveat, whatever legal term they use.
Something like
that. They had done nothing with it.
Therefore, the loophole was there, and we managed to get back that land in Union Island.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it looks as if they can't get back that one in Canawan.
Well,
not so easily.
I don't know what the story will be, but the state have various options open to it, right? Which I don't think that, one of the things is a question of total acquisition. You can't have the state when the state want lands. The state at it just value it and rest your money down there for you based on the valuation. You hope that they would join and amicably resolve it, But
the original buyer, he's now dead.
The original buyer is now dead, and it has passed and changed hands and so on and things. But the thing about it is that we are not receiving benefits, the benefit that it was meant to be to derive from that particular thing, because you lease the NDP lease 1,200 acres of land at $10,000 per annum. I mean, really. Let we don't just look at the figure, but I want to believe, and maybe you might say that I shouldn't say that, but I want to give James Mitchell, I don't know, his thoughts may have been the sum is really a nominal sum, but there will be so much benefits overflowing, particularly into the community and into the country, but nothing much came about. In the initial stages, there was some, but over the past couple of years, the property has just been there.
Been there.
And I mean, you have a big elephant trampling in the jungle, but the jungle is ours.
I'm just wondering if something. I'll get it off now.
It's all right. We could talk. We talking. This is something of significance because there have been calls over the years. So because the people in Canawan, I mean, you can't have so much of your land. You have 1,800 acres of land overall in Canawan. 1,200 up to the north that was given to an investor. And then you have another set of acres down at the south. So the people at Canawan live on approximately probably like about 400 acres in the middle.
I don't think they're living on that bigger spot, Mr. Snagg.
Huh?
I think it's a smaller spot than that, and it's not in the middle.
Well,
they're down somewhere where the town is.
Yeah. Well, I call it the middle because the north is gone, the south is gone. So you're left with the middle. But it's how much of the middle you have.
But I'm just inquiring about the salt pond. I keep on wondering about that salt pond. I have never seen anything that fascinated me so much as that and this Dusty South Bay. But
yes.
There was a salt pond in the middle of Canawan. I say this in middle business.
Yeah, well, I get
look at when it was covered in salt.
Yeah.
And it had one single tree at one end of it that was completely black in color. Salt had turned at that shade.
Yeah.
Is that the salt pond still in Canawan?
No, it's there, but you don't get any salt anymore.
Why not?
Well, there's an environmental issue. I guess it's because all the runoff water go into that salt, and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? So, so they changed it. The salt ponds exist. The salt ponds exist in Union Island and in Myro.
Yes.
All
right, sir. Thanks.
Yes. All right then. Thanks for your call. Yeah. No, I was, dealing on the topic of vengeance. Now, the NDP who have had so many years in opposition, that there is a talk that they want to get into government so much that people are worried about the term vengeance. Because you heard from St. Leacock, and you always had to quote him, because one of the things he more vocal than Friday. He speaks more. He speaks more than every other parliamentarian. Sometimes I feel he must be the leader of the party. He speaks more than every other parliamentarian. The only other one who speaks, but he don't speak except in Parliament, where he gets a chance to stand up and to shout and to rave, and that is Daniel Cummins, But Sinclair Leacock is the one who always on the various talk shows or radio stations and so on and thing. Sometimes it good too, because you get a sense of how the NDP is thinking. I don't know if he does speak on behalf of the NDP, because it seemed to me like they always at loggerheads with each other in terms of their position on various issues. But he had made a statement that one day he will deal with all those who have wronged him. Well, there's a man who preaches vengeance. That's vengeance. But vengeance is mindset the Lord. And he believes that he has not gotten what he wanted. And I think what he wanted is nothing more than a ministerial position, being a minister of government in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, or as he indicated in one program, that Friday will have to make him deputy prime minister, And I think sometimes when a man have a desire for something and he see that he can't get it, and he'd be an angry man. And you could sense it from Sinclair Leacock as an angry man, a man who believes that he should get more than what he has. And I ain't talking about in the physical format here. I'm talking about a man who believes that he should have a certain sense of authority. And that is what it is about. And men fail to realize that some of these opposition parliamentarians and persons who run in for office, some of them enter into politics on the basis of vengeance. We have a caller. Caller, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Snaggy.
Good morning, what's happening?
Yes, man, yes. Now I'm joining with the Labour Party, your party, and fighting the NDP so fast in life. What a crowd of people now. Decide for them and a friend who are NDP.
If
I think it's time for them, man.
As a Vincent, I have friend who is, well, at least they say we is friend. So sometimes we don't be friend at election time, there are people, Stephen, you know that? You know that people that live in the same household and don't deal with one another at this time? Vex with one another? Yes.
Yes, boy, I telling you, if we NDP, we both in, well, they say, we not have good foot not take in front. And a man to a rampage fooling the people. Oh, they're going to win, this thing going to win, and because of this and because of that, and the line strongly. But now we same people them now, you could hear they talk, they tell us about the Labour Party go win them. If we NDP convincing that they can win Labour, because when you really check up on equality candidate, this government have together the Prime Minister. And when we put God in front, because if we talk God, you can't get a good Prime Minister and good quality of people to run the country and make people happy. And you think about the quality of life the NDP telling. Well, a fella called Camilla last night. I was trying to get on. The fella said, NDP think that head only make 2 hat alone. Because he can't nonsense with liquor can never get on with. And it's fooling the supporters with. Them think that head only that will make hat. Then why people that think and nothing like that. You tell them education ain't good, airport ain't good, this ain't good, housing ain't good, that ain't good. And they tell them, okay, so it come like them head alone, them just think that doesn't make hat. And liquor is a boasting guy. Liquor means that he's the fella fountain. And he's the one that man to in comments on them. He's the one that training them. So he take a position. Because for an Eli come from Mespo, he said Likak is the worst thing ever living. He always want to rule, he always want to be in front. And he politically crazy and sick with disbelief. As the Prime Minister at the time, he see me 2 big briefcases coming to Parliament. He say, oh Jesus Christ, well, you're going to share with some books and things. Well, look, say trophy inside. I mean, Likak is politically crazy and he's a madman. There is a Ibamba and talking some other evil thing because they listen to he. He play one of them every Friday. You only talking like a Friday. Like if he maintain Friday too. So he's the really leader, making people feel that.
Yeah, he's the Hefe.
A set of people against Friday.
Yeah,
and Friday know that.
Yeah, he's the Hefe.
Huh?
He's the Hefe. Likak is the Hefe of the party. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah, Friday.
And then
Friday named the leader, but Likak is the Hefe of the party.
Exactly. Because if you really check it out, the only thing Likak don't come away and say, he tell Friday to say, we're telling you exactly what he said about party and how he serve on the party. He going to cut back. He going to privatize hospital and health and all them kind of things. So he going to do this, he going to do that. Likak is a total political disgrace. A political disgrace and an embarrassment to politics. James Mitchell was one too. James Mitchell the following. Because James Mitchell figure. Just like how we put that in Likak on them head and Friday and them, that Vincent and stupid people. They reside, they get in answer because people keep on voting for Labour Party. Because the people getting wise up and getting education and thinking and all kind of thing. But James Mitchell believes that people stupid. They reside, he tried to give a can of one. He was with a few people on can of one. He said that as a private island. With all the deals he's making. James Mitchell didn't like, James Mitchell is the one. He tells him we live on the plantation. And he going to get any friends and them to slavery out and all kind of thing too. And James Mitchell time is starvation pay. They was paying his children to starvation pay. No, we classification how can they come into being and people could live happy and enjoy life and buy big chop, buy this, buy that, and banana in there. And if you talk about banana, it's Keto who started the banana thing. And Mr. just come and we pay harvest. I start to mash up civils in the stupidness and them close on this, close on that, and destroy this and fight this and fight that. So NDP is a party we have to really be away from. That is why now, I one thing before I go. Let me just shout out one time culture, man, but one thing before I go. Let me say that, boy, I forgot you know, but anyhow, but James Mitchell, NDP is a total disgrace to Sylvan. So, that is the reason why. Labour Party now, I used to tell them, I say, boy, I listen to these people. I hate stupid. They're going, me don't want to listen to them. Them to ignorant and this and that. Because they meet them in the road, they're not listening to the radio station. Now, what causing Labour Party people now to come out with vengeance against them? Many of them listen to NDP radio station and they're passing on the message to the children and the family and everything. And they know it's a total disgrace and a total embarrassment. This party is. So there is like, so that knock a bomb jump. Labour Party don't do like ants nest. Because they want to get rid of this ignorant and this stupidness out of the way. And look at you go see joke. They might show a set up and nature and them out of government. Because Labour Party people coming up to cars to make sure show you NDP. They don't have no part in the civilized world. They belong to hell.
All right, stop it. All right. Stop it. We get your message. We get your message. I'll leave you let you talk because I don't want them to say that allow you according to the views, allow you. But we get your point. We get your point. And you may have your own controversial way of putting the thing in place. But he has his point, you know what I mean? And the fact that persons are coming out so with the ULP, it tells a story. because sometimes when you feel that you may be threatened, and based on what is coming out from the NDP, the sons and daughters of Labour are responding and they are reacting. They're seeing what is happening on social media. Me not a thing. I'm not a social media fan unless somebody pulls something up and show me, or somebody call me and tell me something or so on and thing. But I see some woefully awful things that are being said on, well, it's bare costs and more costs coming from supporters of the NDP and some of the activists, you know. But we have to come to the reality that we have a caller. Yes, I'll take the caller. Caller, good morning.
It's Snaggy. Morning.
Good morning, Lansford.
It's always a pleasure when you give up your busy schedule.
Yeah, I come
and spend some time with us.
I come today to have a little chat with the people.
Yes, I'm enjoying it. Snaggy, we must not forget our history, whether it's our history from a long time or even our more recent history. And at a time like now, when we have an election coming up, we must take from the past and make sure that we don't make the same mistake again. I am going back to the last two major votes when the NDP was successful in this country. In 1984 and 2009. Those were the last two times when NDP reaped major success in this country, because in both occasions, they were able to get the majority of support to turn this country
2009.
back.
2009
was the referendum. And 1984
yes,
is when we had a change.
When there was a change of government.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if you want to limit it. I don't know if you want to limit it to 1984, because I could always also add 1989, because I think 1989 was a kind of marked period, because it resulted in a total obliteration of the then opposition, because they got all 15 seats in 1989. So for me, that could have been a transitional period too, you know. But anyhow, you make a point.
The 1989 Snaggy is a direct result of 1984.
Okay then. Okay.
I tell you why. I thought you were going to fill in 1972. I have some knowledge of that too, but I prefer to stay with the most modern ones. Snaggy, in 1984, and I am speaking factually, because I have spent some time working in the Central Planning Ministry of Finance, where my responsibility was to look at the national statistics. In 1984, I was one of those persons who got carried away with the hype of the NDP and supported the change of government, because the Labour Party then did not take the time to explain to us where we were and when we were going. And as an electorate, we got caught up with the slogan, the last-minute slogan that came as a result of a calypso, soca music by Beckett, Horn for Them. And we did not pay attention to where we were. In 1984, we had a diversified economy, manufacturing, agriculture, and all of the services. They were carrying our economy. We were making good progress in them. And the NDP came and said, enough is enough, time for change. And we change the government. And between 1984 and 1989, the NDP government benefited directly from where we were in 1984. As I said, we have a really productive banana industry. So those in the countryside were making a lot of money from bananas because they were selling it in England at a higher price than where other consumers, a higher price than what it cost elsewhere to produce.
Yeah, because
in other words, it costs less
of the
to
trade
produce
preference.
bananas in Central America.
Yeah.
But because of our history with England, they allowed us to sell it at a price commensurate with what it cost us to produce. So they benefited tremendously from that. And the folks in the country thought it was the government in power at the time that was creating this wealth for them. But the foundation was set. Before that, the NDP came in 1984 net that way. The same thing with the manufacturing industry. We had in the industrial estate in Camden Park that was doing very well, providing income for all kinds of persons, full-time and part-time. And again, that helped to cement it. And that's why I say 1989 was a direct success of what St. Vincent's Labour Party under Milton Cater left for us. That's the connection I made. Come to 2009. Everybody, including Sinclair Leacock, thought we were doing well with respect to the constitution that we had drafted and was taken to Parliament. Everybody thought so. But the NDP, through their support from persons abroad, turned it from what was a national issue to a political issue. And they had these very simple messages, a lot of it not true, but they said it in ways and in frequency that convince persons who should be otherwise very intelligent. And I'm not talking from, I am not guessing, Snaggy. I am speaking from my experience because I was around some of these people because of the job I was doing. And I heard what they were saying. There were persons who supported the government, who were benefiting tremendously from the government at the time, who had a piece of land here and a piece of land there, and they got caught up with the propaganda spread by the party at that time, that this new constitution is going to, Ralph, is finally going to do what he intended to do from the very beginning. He will take away all your land and leave you with one piece.
And carry out all his communist intentions.
Yes, you see them foolishly printing what
money
look like our banknotes, our currency, with Ralph head on it. And the people, again, who should have known better, who bought into that. And there was the issue of the pension from the retirees who came in from overseas.
Particularly those from the UK.
Yes,
retirees
because the queen will no longer be our queen. And so these people who work so hard,
they lose their pension.
Yes.
It was a multiplicity of lies that was framed into a particular context. You know, it swept away the electorate.
And Snaggy, it was not just what they were saying, it's how they were saying it. I believe that my friend Louis Mitchell is ashamed up to today of the environmental issues that were involved in that campaign. Because you see all these plastic, you remember that those plastic things that they had with the black hand on it?
Yeah, the black hand.
That is of tremendous environmental concern, you know, Snaggy.
They were plastered all over the place.
Take hundreds of years to decay.
Yeah, they were plastered.
So those things
All
are
over.
somewhere in our environment
They're there.
causing damage to our environment up to today. But we overlooked it and we looked at the message and we voted, I guess, overwhelmingly to turn back the change in the constitution.
Lance, we voted overwhelmingly. The answer was no. The thumbs
That's
down.
the point.
The thumbs
thumbs
down was no. And the
And
thumbs
I
down.
want to fast.
Eh?
The kind of mind-bending thing, use a black hand and a yellow background. That was deliberate, Snaggy.
Yes.
And that's why I say it's not just what was being said, it is the way it was being said. And we fast forward to 2025. Going right back to 1984, we have an economy that is even more diversified than in 1984.
Yes, it is.
Because we have a tourism industry that is doing well by our standards. And by everybody else's standards in terms of the rate of increase, we're doing exceptionally well in our tourism industry. And I often say, this tourism industry is going to bring all of the other sectors, all of the sectors along with us.
Bring them along with it.
With it. It is going to bring all of them along. And we cannot make that same mistake that we made in 1984 to change the government so that Dr. Friday, who is lazy, and I want to come back to that term, lazy. Dr. Friday, who is lazy, who has demonstrated for the last 8 years that he is lazy. Dr. Friday, whom I believe, this is an opinion, came in to run for the Labour Party, may have started campaigning or going around assessing the support in Berkeley. I believe that is what happened. And when he got the feedback, the opportunist that he is, he jumped on the NDP boat. And he has stayed there up until this point.
Well, in fact,
and has done.
He had intention.
Nothing
was really to run with the Labour Party, you know. But
you're confirming my opinion, Snaggy.
I don't know as an opinion you had. I thought you had the fact, because the discussion for him to return was conducted with Eardley Simmons, who was the then chairman of the ULP's constituency council, you know, who Eardley, who has a close affiliation, who was the brother-in-law of my man, Brother Cozier, Cosmos. and we know why he came. But then when he came, he made an assessment and recognized that the leanings of the people in the Northern Grenadines was towards the NDP. And he shifted them fellas aside, you know, and played for safer grounds.
Snaggy, you all have never told the people that. And that's why I thought it was just my opinion.
I say it now, and I give you the genuine source.
We have to talk the things, Snaggy.
Give you the genuine source.
We have to tell the people where we are.
Yeah.
But you know what is happening, Snaggy? The same. So that's 1984. I showed the 2025.
We had the cost.
1984.
So you equated 2025 to what happened in 1984.
Economically and otherwise.
Yeah.
But 2025 as against 2009, there's a connection there again. The nasty messages, the lies.
Yeah.
And they're putting it in a way to fool our population. I noticed that there's an ad talking to young people saying that they will get the system in place for PayPal, so that they can receive money through PayPal. We have heard Minister Gonsalves, Finance Minister Gonsalves, talk all the time about the difficulty that we are having with people and the efforts that he, as a young man who is very aware of the technology and uses it to great effect. We see him in Parliament. We see how he works with it in Parliament. One of them come and they say something, and before you look, Minister Gonzalez is able to give them the source and the document. I say that to say,
you see the technology at work.
Gonzalez,
He's au fait with the technology. Very.
He knows a lot more than everybody in the NDP.
Yeah.
About the technology. He uses it more than every one of them. And if Minister Gonzalez is unable at this point, not yet, to get us to receive payments through PayPal, who is Lazy Friday? This man who has not, according to Prime Minister Gonzalez, Friday only walk fast when he's leaving his white clients in Beckway and heading for the bank. That's the only time Friday walk fast. Friday's a lazy man. So these things that Friday have seen, and I go back to the PayPal issue. They're targeting all of these people who come through the education revolution and have their tertiary education, their university degrees, who now are frustrated by PayPal. And they're now telling lies and attempt to fool them to jump on the bandwagon. And we must point out these lies. Imagine they have an ad talking about the ULP is lazy. These guys, they have no shame.
Yeah, boy, I'm kidding.
They're absolutely shameless. These folks have an ad that the ULP is lazy. That is the hallmark of Friday and the NDP.
Yeah.
Sinclair Leacock, who I have a lot more to say about. But I'm going to take up all of your time.
Yeah, because they give me a little hint of the time for the ads. They want to pay the bills.
Let me just make this point and go off, Snagg.
Yeah.
Sinclair Leacock, he is so embarrassed and frustrated. He goes to the Parliament and he says every year, Friday name the Public Accounts Committee and then Friday go to sleep. Those are the words of Sinclair Leacock, you know.
Exact words.
Exact words. But we have to talk about these things now.
Yeah.
Let me leave the station to make some money.
Okay then, all right.
Thank you for
Lads,
having
we be in touch. All right? Yeah.
Yes.
God bless.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line with the red and white case, show me what you like. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. It's cigarette from Empire, Holdings Limited. With over 60 years experience. Hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
Whether you're ripping it up on the highway or taking a casual Sunday drive, OT Tire Limited is second to none when delivering excellence at reasonable prices. We offer new and used tires, tire repair and installation. We are the only place that offers nitrogen, which helps with gas consumption and ride comfort. Supplying you with brand name tires like Maxxis, Kumo, Good Ride, Westlake, and Triangle.
Boom! Enjoy the VIP style customer waiting lounge with refreshments and free Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying, yo? This is Skinny Fabulous, and when it comes to tires, nobody makes it easier than OT. Got me on the road. When the OT car tire.
Follow OT Tire on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter today.
Hey, boom, run the road. With OT Tires.
Justin at OT Tire, 265 5015, new and improved Grip Max tires, perfect for passenger vans. Get your set of 4 today for only $1,900. Don't miss out. Visit us now.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking. But we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy. We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark, get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingstown. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
WEFM 99.9, home of quality programming. A source of reliable news and information. Home of legendary voices and music. WEFM 99.9, the clean first sound. Visit us online at www.999wefm.com or call 457-9994. WEFM 99.9, the clean first sound.
Listen to Ralph. You're not going to believe what former St. Lucia Prime Minister Alan Chastanet said on the NDP platform about selling passports. Listen.
It's greed, as Ralph said. It was too sweet, as Ralph said. Those are the things that he warned us about.
Chastanet also warned that passport selling countries are being threatened by the U.S. government with a travel ban. Listen.
The U.S. government now has to threaten the countries in the Eastern Caribbean who are doing CIP programs. And
on the future with the ULP, the party that is working for all of we.
That you do nothing, boom, boom, boom. And every time I knock on me neighbor door, I hear him labor.
WEFM, the clean fresh sound. It's time for Shakeup on WEFM 99.9.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Following the break. I mean, prior to the break, there was such an enlightening conversation with the caller before, with Lansford Weeks. But I'll talk about that. Let me take the call here. Caller, good morning.
Snaggy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, but I have a little problem with my throat.
Mm-hmm. I too, but we gonna go over it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to Mr. Weeks, and I heard him saying that Louise Mitchell, what was the word he used?
He says that she would be ashamed or embarrassed, more or less that term.
About what they use.
The amount of plastic. Remember they plastered the place with plastic.
Yeah, I know that. I know all of that.
Yeah.
But why would she be ashamed? She was part of the campaign.
Yeah.
So at that point, she didn't have anything to be ashamed of. They were the architects of this May campaign. So I can't see her being ashamed. You're gonna be ashamed of something that you got involved in.
You can't be ashamed of one part and support on the other part.
Of course not.
Because she's an environmentalist at the highest order who complains about every single aspect. And I think that's it. Yeah?
She was part of the campaign.
Yeah, she was part of it. But I get Lansford's point. I get Lansford's point as this supreme environmentalist song.
As the person who don't want to see all them things.
Yeah.
I can understand that, right?
Yeah.
But to come on radio to give her kudos and what? I mean, not giving kudos, but putting that word with her at this point? Don't. All she wants right now is just to win 2 seats, you know. They don't care about 14 or 13, 12 or 11.
They want 2.
All she wants right now is 2 seats. And they're targeting them, right?
Yeah.
So, let them go about their business. They just talk what they want to talk when it suits their purpose.
What 2 seats, girl? Yeah. I love this. I love this.
Supposed to tell you that.
2 seats they're targeting.
But bully for them.
Yeah, 2 seats they're
Bully for
targeting.
them. And I go on Snaggy. Okay, good.
All right, yeah, so. You know, the thing about it is this, that they're pushing the narrative of change. But I always, you know, I looked at Lansford Point, where he made the comparison with 1984 and what is happening now in 2025, where the call for change, and we changed to our detriment. We didn't change for the better. We changed because of the hype. And we were carrying this conversation along with relation to the referendum of 2009, where the issue of term limits, etc., and that sort of thing, and the Constitution of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And you come to the realization that the whole concept of change is something that we must be so mindful of, because it's easy to push change. And that's why I was saying that young people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have to be made aware of the history of the NDP and what the NDP is to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the current and present danger that it provides for us going forward. Caller, always had a cut and let the caller speak. Yeah, caller.
Good morning, Mr. Snagg.
Good morning.
Saturday morning was a good day in Union Island.
Yes, it was. Very much so.
Mr. Snagg, one of your callers raised a couple critical points. One, the suggested changes to the Constitution 2009, a process the Eastern Caribbean Islands were eagerly monitoring. The opposition made so many lies to which today they are hanging their head in shame, but they are yet to come out and admit to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines that they did a disservice to this country.
They will never admit that. but history provides it. They will not do an admission, but history provides the admission.
True. Recently, someone wanted to raise the issue about term limits for the Prime Minister. But when confronted with a reminder that this was drafted into the proposed constitutional changes in 2009, and they voted against it, no one responded. As a result, today, St. Vincent, let me put it, had this constitution been accepted, St. Vincent would have been way ahead.
Pilot project in sovereignty and self-independence, that new constitution in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, because others would have followed. But other governments got timid, because the NDP dealt with this in a strictly political partisan way. And so much so that they thought automatically that they would have won the 2010 election, you know, based on the results of the referendum in 2009, you know. They had the tails on their back after the referendum.
Grenada attempted it a few years ago and they didn't succeed. The question is, how soon can we put this back on the table for the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to deal with?
Well, left to be seen. Can't see. But one of the things there was a young man who he came first in the examination, in the common entrance examination, and I was there, and the referendum had just finished in 2009, and I never forgot that he came first and went to the grammar school, and he said to me, "Mr. Snagg, it's all right, you know, we go change it." That was 2000. So that would have been 2010. So I guess now he could be a little 15 years older. He could be around 26 thereabouts. So if you get the point I'm making, I said to myself well, there is hope. There is hope. You know what I mean? There is hope. And Lansford Week spoke about knowing our history and understanding how we apply that history of ours to our future. And that we do not make the same grave mistakes and errors again. He mentioned that in 1984, and I really wish that I could have Lansford on our program, and I must have to have a discussion with that, because not one thing, we love the hype. We love the hype for election, but it's also good to provide the information and facts to our people, because there are a lot of right-thinking people who are making their analysis. Anyhow, Colin, let me don't take your time. You go ahead.
Yeah, my last point quickly is that on banana. When the EU recognized and realized that a lot of the STABEX funds were not reaching the farmers for whom it was intended, they decided to have a company formed with DECO, so that the farmers would benefit directly. The 4 prime ministers who signed that agreement, Eugenia Charles Dominica, John Compton St. Lucia, James Mitchell St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I think it's George Brizza and Grenada. The agreement stipulated that the banana growers associations of the islands, the debt would be wiped out by the EU, whatever debt they own. The farmers would then take over the management of the industry with help from both the EU and the government. The governments of the day would give each company 400,000 EC dollars as startup capital. However, only one country went ahead. To this day, questions are being asked. Not allow the farmers to manage their own industry. In St. Lucia, I can tell you it was political interference which contributed greatly to the demise of the industry. Because I can say a lot more as to the benefits the farmers would have derived. A lot of the farmers' monies were spent in infrastructure development in England. The writing rooms in Southampton was built using farmers' monies. The lease of 2 ships, which was renamed Geese St. Lucia and Geese Dominica, using farmers' monies. And who spearheaded all that? I leave it for the farmers to come out and see. But anyway, Mr. Snaggy, I don't want to take too much of your time.
Yeah, because I'm approaching the midday hour and the news the newscaster just walked in here.
We'll meet and talk.
We could talk. And this is the thing about that is why Shakeup is the leading daytime talk show program. Go ahead, brother.
Quickly, Saturday night at Layu, there was a significant sign made by supporters of the ULP. As I was there, as we approached the midnight hour, and PM Gonzalez, one of his most significant political addresses, was speaking, the crowd remained. That was significant.
And it was midnight.
Thank you.
It was midnight. But one of the things about the signs is that you will see the repetition of the sign, because I expect that there will be on Saturday, on this Saturday coming. So prepare yourself. It will be made public on this Saturday, because there is a promise, of a campaign the likes of which they have never seen before. And it will happen. You understand? And to the people, thank you very much for your call. And to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, when you hear the call for change, understand this, and I want to leave you on this note, that I climbed a platform down at Clare Valley, and I heard a statement made by a candidate of the Unity Labour Party then, in the name of Jomo Sanga Thomas, who climbed the ULP's platform as a candidate for the constituency of South Leeward. And the words of Jomo Thomas was, they are calling for change. He said, but change from what to what? The ULP is the change. Bear that in mind, that the ULP is the change. Thank you very much. Hope you have a blessed evening and be with you some other time in the future. Thanks to my technical person here at WEFM. Have a pleasant day.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Edwin Snagg. That was your Shakeup host for today, Tuesday, October 14th. Up next, we have WEFM's Midday News headlines coming to you with the kind compliments of St. Vincent Distillers Limited.
Nothing else sounds as good as WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Welcome to WEFM's Midday News headlines, coming to you with the kind of compliments of St.